Welcome to Coffee Talk. I am your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. Stay tuned. Peace, and welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast, Wednesday Night Sports. Tonight, we discuss the Super Bowl halftime show. This is Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast show, and I am your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba, and welcome to the show. How y'all doing tonight? I have mixed, but I have two cameras going on at the same time, and it's really tough for me. You know what I mean? I can hear my shit. So that's not good, but I my support to bear with me tonight. Thank you for going up the show. As you know, the Culture Podcast, and it's been a week, you know, missing Tuesday. Also missed Grown Folks Social Artists last weekend. So I do apologize to my supporters, viewers, that we had a lot of stuff going on as far as family and other things like that. So we had missed those shows, but we do promise to those shows like this week. So we're with our additional Wednesday night sports, and so that's what we're talking about tonight. But as this is your first time appearing here, we're not your typical sports show. We don't care about who lost the game or anything like that. Usually we like to deal with the different intricacies that's going on in the world of sports. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And today's topic is the Super Bowl halftime show. It's your boy Bad. Is that? Is it bad? But not people say, oh, little baby and baby and baby and baby and baby, little baby. It's so big. I'm like, that's me. Or they say bad bunnies and babies. Or this. You know. But yeah, that's our future tonight. Is definitely talking about the Super Bowl halftime show. And then that's, of course, because big literacy, big on increasing the reading activity of culture for our elders, for ourselves, our kids. So we bring you short stories about track star and Olympian Jessie Owens. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight in the Coffee Podcast Sports. It's short, probably 15 minutes a year time, but we want to make sure that you definitely enjoy your show tonight. Let me know Again, I got two cats going at the same time, and I can hear it on my end. The echo, you know. So, I apologize if y'all get that. You know, I want this to happen kind of really mess up this show. You know what I mean? So let's get into it. If your first time in the podcast, Cultural Variety Podcast show, we appear ways a week. Alternate Saturdays, Sundays, which we like to call cultural studies. But as you know, with our culture is so big, so broad. So we like to do a little taste of everything. We like to give props to doctors, lawyers, scholars, dancers, our poets, our authors. You know, so that's what we do on those alternate nights. And then, as I said earlier, this is our sports show. If you don't care about the women lost again, we just like different intricacies going on in the world of sports. And then on Friday, Saturday, definitely can catch us where we're not so much scripted, more, a little bit more. That's right, a little bit more of your big uncle, you know what I mean? Your big brother M. Saba. So, we call that the grown social worker to, have short stuff again, have games, play 5 questions, 10 questions, Q&A. We like to just have a good time. So think about it Saturday night as you chill at the lounge or the bar and just having good dialogue, good dialogue, good conversation. You know what I'm talking about? All right, so go ahead and get right into the show. Now, this is what I took. We show you the wise words as well as flavor. So, what is the flavor? We like to promote a healthy lifestyle. So, we like to talk about different various drinks that you may turn. Be a coffee, a latte, uh, a beer, wine, whatever you're picking on. You know what I mean? As long as you are enjoying yourself and you are in the flavor. So that's what the flavors and the wise words is just paying homage to our ancestors that done left quotes and wise words along the way. All right. Let's go ahead and right into tonight. Wise words. Come from a man I like to call number 234523. Number 234523. And yes, born February 16th, 1963. So you got a birthday at the end of this next week. Uh, Again, people call him his fairness, M, money, black Jesus, and he played 15 seasons in Chicago. So tonight, wise words are from and Mr. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's wise words is this. He stated, if you accept the expectation of others, especially negative ones, then you will never change the outcome. We'll say that one more time. Nice wise words from Jordan. And his wise words was this. If you support the expectation of others, especially negative ones, then you will never change the outcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me know if you're here. Hit the button and subscribe. She say hi in the chat box. To give you a shout out. You know what so moving right on. Tonight's flavor. Well, tonight's flavor is definitely smooth. I know I love smoothies. Yeah. That's probably some flavor, right? No doubt. All right. So tonight's flavor is kale and berry. So you get a mixture of kale and you turn that into a smoothie. And I tell you how it tastes very good. It's good for you. The benefits to mention about having kale and smoothies is it increases energy, it promotes healthy skin, and it reduces the unhealthy cholesterol level that's in your body. That is our flavor for tonight. Tonight's flavor is kale and berry smoothie. You know how it is. Microsoft sounds as well. All right, so get right into the show. So past week, we had the Super Bowl between the the Seahawks, and the New England Patriots. And man, believe that the Patriots got back to the Super Bowl and with a 2-year player, been going back to the last 6 years. That team is dead. They're gonna correct. And what that speaks of is of their program. I remember back in the days when it was SARS, you know what I mean? They had funny colonized on the side of the helmet. And, they were like the red, white, whatever. They wasn't American. They were Cowboys. But some quarterbacks, man, on that team, those New England teams, man, and they struggled. They used to be dogs. You know what I mean? For some years. You know, ever since Tom Brady, there's the coach take years. They got their ownership and all that regime, whatever, man. It's a successful program. And, I gotta definitely say that it's off to the New England Patriots. Of course, Seattle Seahawks, they just always good. I mean, back to when he had the running back, I forgot his name, man, but there's great defense at each of the room. Sierra as well was quarterback. What's the name of you? And yeah, man, super Seahawks. Say, great. It's hard to win there in Seattle. They're always beating out to NC, man. Tough, man. So they made it to the Super Bowl as well with the Minnesota Vikings on quarterback, Sam, man, who I think personally that the Vikings got rid of. I mean, Sam Bell was the person that was 14-4 last year, won big games for Minnesota. I thought Minnesota came up too soon. And reports come out, a lot of people that way. And so since then, GM Quincy, we did a podcast this week for the Super Bowl coverage, let go from the Minnesota Vikings. There's some reports coming out stating that a lot of people didn't want to see Sam Darnold leave and head over to Seahawks. But, that's what happened. Sam Darnold wanted to go for 200 yards, one touchdown. The rest was history. The defense led the way, and the Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl championship. What was it? His Super Bowl? Say that's all. Seattle. Let's talk about these dudes bad in the Super Bowl. What am I going to ask you? And then we're going to talk about some of the reflections and I'm saying, my thoughts. You know what I mean? So Bad Bunny, artist, was born March 1994. He was Puerto Rican, and his name is Ito Antonio Martinez Acosta. He's a global superstar. He's known as the King of Latin Trap. He's a reggaeton artist, also salsa, bachata, and soul. And he was famous this past year for the album called Debbie Terrara Photos. You know what I mean? I don't know if that means in Spanish, but that's bad money. If I make mistakes hearing saying bad, maybe I apologize. I don't got the headphones on with the echo. It's kind of me off just slightly, and I do apologize. But what's about bad, this artist, the hip hop artist, hip hop artist. To me, I would call it pop artist. I don't say hip hop, but that was my first time, other than his name, to really watch him. You know what I mean? And I wasn't impressed, but I wanted to clear some things up about why I was impressed. And that just leads into the reflections we're going to talk about. The reflections from a lot of people, from what I heard on this social wire, is that they were trying to play the division of the black one against one another, and I don't think that was all. I think it allowed people to play the role Uh, you know, you can fall into that stupid thinking, but nobody had a perfectly bad being Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican is us. It's just different stuff on the bus route. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with my families as well as our family. Honestly, you know what I mean? But there were some statements made that sound really want to cause division. You know, people felt because of black people didn't like it, or at least that were interviewed had a problem with it. I will just say we could do everything. A lot of people just had a problem with the half show, and a lot of people just language area. And let's just keep that up and be real with it, real about it. I'm sorry, I'm hearing this, but um, yeah, it has to do with the language area. And saying people like, "Man, prejudice, and all that stupid shit." When it comes to talking about the language barrier, but that's just honest. And I want to say this: you couldn't take any of our rappers, you know, and put him in the middle of the world soccer as entertainment. People there be the exact same thing. They be like, man, we didn't need this certain rapper to entertain us here in soccer stadium during the World Cup. You know, this is just it's it's out of the box. I would say. You know what I mean? So that's how people felt. They just felt a language barrier when discussing Bad Bunny and his performance. Let's go and talk a little bit more about his performance. His performance was viewed by 128.2 million viewers, according to BBC and Nielsen data. When I heard it, I was like, how would you know, and how can you state that that had something to do with Bad Bunny? And the reason I brought that up, I kept seeing how, Bad Bunny, he got more pictures than Michael Jackson, Prince, and all these other people. Rihanna, these people that performed in the Super Bowl halftime show. And I thought to myself, I said, well, I'm not going to fall for that. Uh, the data that you can't bad brought to people woman for the halftime show. Those people were brought up because the Super Bowl is one of the biggest sports events uh, of Western culture, at least. And, it's global, as you can see. The NFL started to venture off and play games in Brazil, London, and all that. So it's not as good as football, which we call soccer, but it's just as far as the line, and then if that makes sense. But they had to say that Brown Bad Bunny's performance was the fourth most watched halftime show in history. Uh, I watched putting up him walking through the big tall grass, what you want to describe it. But there was language barrier, so I didn't watch it, man. I had to turn, already problem before he started when they first announced they have um, entertainment was going to be a problem. Man, I just really did. One out call no man money. I just feel a certain way, and maybe it's perhaps I'm school, but I'm just not into seeing the guys that are polished on long fingernails and stuff like that. That he is known for in his act. Now that's not bashing anybody. That's just my personal opinion. I need to see men be fully masculine men. You know what I mean? But hey, that's a good story. But funny guy, this bad guy also formed at WWE WrestleMania. His acting credits are Bullet Train 2022, Cassandra 2023, help you get more to 2025. You know, and so that's funny. The Grammy Award winner, and I'm sure you will hear more music from him. But let me ask you this first question: do you think a plant, you know, you hear street plants and they just put this guy out here, bad bunny? Because I can't think of no dude that's going into pop, hip hop, whatever you want to call it. And say, man, I'm calling myself Bad Bunny. You know, I believe that wasn't his name at all. Uh, and the industry gave him that name. You know what I mean? And they started promoting. To me, it's an industry plan. What's your thoughts on it? Man? Go ahead and leave that a comment. And as you go to the podcast, we're not so that's attacking that one. You know, we are a positive podcast, and uh, you know, we are here for our people. But that, the question was tonight, how was the halftime show and our reflections on it? And I thought that it was whack. And so a lot of people are asking, who should next as halftime entertainment? And they're saying people like Breeze, Chris Breeze, and whatnot. And saying, the Yankees love Chris Brown. The dude got great music, he has a great catalog. He can dance, entertain. I don't have a problem with that. But I would like to see somebody that really can give a good 15-minute performance. I like the intention of having 20 is because you're broadening the entertainment portion. But to me, it was whack, But hey, I find somebody to get, what I mean, J-Lo or somebody, whatever. But that's my thoughts tonight. And leaving the what you thought of the Super Bowl halftime show. Go ahead and give us a rating of a scale of 1 through 5, with 5 being the best. Let us know what your thoughts are on the Super Bowl halftime show. If it was a great show, give it 5. If it was cool, you had a good time, you had a Super Bowl party, whatever, give it a 4. If you thought it was just average, give it a 3. If you didn't like it at all, give it a 2. And if you want to get one would be that it was just trash. And I want you to go ahead and follow up. That's what you felt it was trash. Go ahead and leave that in the comments. We'd be greatly appreciative of that. And we want to hear from our viewers. If you watch this on YouTube, thank you for supporting us. If you're watching this on Facebook Live, thank you for following us and supporting us. This is our show for tonight. This is Coffee to the Podcast, Wednesday Night Sports. And I'm your host, Mashoon Saba M. Saba. And this is the Culture Variety Podcast show. Hey, I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you for stopping by. I made you a universal peace sign, and I'm out. Thank you.